This is an interview with Homestyle Surgery on Tuesday, December 21st, 2021 by Nick Perkel. Now, Joonas, can you please tell me about getting your first guitar?
Getting my first guitar, it was like an acoustic guitar made for kids. Like it's a little bit like a toy, you could say. And I think I was in kindergarten or something like that, so I was maybe 6 years old or something like that. And it was, I think it was a Christmas gift actually.
What kind of music lessons have you taken over the years?
I haven't really taken any. I'm mostly self-taught. I think I've attended 1-2 lessons or something like that, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Jussi, can you tell me about getting your first guitar?
Oh yeah, well, actually, when I first get into more seriously on music, it was like I was on 5th or 6th grade, and Joel, who was the former singer of Homestyle Surgery, bought himself a guitar, and we were the best friends back then. And I thought that that's stupid. I know we dig music now, but like playing music, that's stupid. But I don't know. I just had to get my own guitar after then, and then we started to actually play with our instruments. We didn't know how to play them, but we were kind of torturing them the way we could, and it was for Harley Benton style cheap guitar from like a convenience store or something that my grandparents actually bought me, and I don't know. I think I still have it somewhere.
Now,
I know I have mine.
Now, Joonas, what were the most influential albums for you as a growing musician when you were younger?
This was a tough one. I wrote down Iron Maiden's Peace of Mind, and that is still one of my favorite albums. So I think it actually it belongs to the list, and I don't know if it has made any big influence on me as a musician, but definitely it was one of the first metal albums that I listened, and I still like it a lot. Second one that I wrote down was Aldi Meola's Land of the Midnight Sun, and fusion jazz classic, and there I picked up a lot of things to lead things and melodies and solos and stuff like that. And third one, Rainbows Rising. Also, I don't know if it made like any big change in my musical direction, but one of my all-time favorite albums.
Jussi, what about you? What were some big influential albums for yourself?
Well, mine's not that different. It starts with Iron Maiden. Actually, it starts with Lordi, which is the Eurovision winner of from only Eurovision winner from Finland. They are this shock rock, monster rock band that plays, I don't know, 80s styled radio-oriented metal, and they have these monster costumes. And when I was a kid, and I liked all the monster stuff, of course, so I obviously dug them. But when in my pre-teens, my cousin introduced me to Iron Maiden, and of course that's when the shit got real, as they say. And for me, the album was Life After Death, because first album I heard from them was Number of the Beast, but then I when we were visiting the nearest bigger city, Rovaniemi, there I visit a record shop, and I grabbed Life After Death and the opening song, Churchill's Speech and Aces High, were so good that I was blown away. And after that, it was all about metal. And I don't know, maybe then after that, it turned into more heavier stuff. And I think Venom's black metal maybe it was the last nail in the coffin that made me what I am as a musician or music listener today.
Now, Joonas, can you tell me about the first band you were in?
Yeah, sure I can. It's actually Homestyle Surgery, but it was called Slasher back in the day when we first started the band, and it was basically me and the previous singer Joel that just started to play for fun. I think Joel had a couple of his own songs, and then quite quickly Jussi joined us, and was the first demo actually called Slasher Jussi? Do you remember? Or was it Homestyle Surgery?
I think it was recorded under the name Slasher, but when we released it, we changed it to Homestyle Surgery.
Yeah.
The first gig was under the name Slasher.
Yeah, in our school.
Yeah, and in a band competition too.
Yeah, also that. So yeah, first band is pre-Homestyle Surgery.
Now, Jussi, were you in a band before Homestyle Surgery?
No, I wasn't very experienced with anything musical before Homestyle Surgery, which was called Slasher at the time. So I just joined Joonas and Joel, and that became our first band.
Can you tell me about how you guys came up with the name for Homestyle Surgery?
It actually comes from an Australian thrash metal band. I think they only released like one demo or something like that, and it's called Crematory, and they had a demo called Homestyle Surgery, and we didn't really like the name Slasher, and it was quite generic name, and it didn't really work, so we had to come up with something else, and I think that was maybe the only suggestion for that.
Yeah, we were having trouble with renaming the band since there were so many Slasher bands called Slasher, and it was trendy at the time to name your new thrash band. Take the name for your thrash band from a classic thrash album like Bounded by Blood and all that stuff. So we went with the more underground, maybe not a classic release, but I don't know. I guess we liked Cremator's Homestyle Surgery back then, and I don't know. I still like it, but I'm not an English speaker. I have heard that the name is kind of silly for some people, but I don't know. I still like it.
I like it too, and I think it kind of fits our theme. Our lyrics are not always that serious, and it kind of fits the horror movie theme that we still a little bit have. So I'm still happy with it.
I see. Now, can you tell me a bit about the history of Homestyle Surgery?
History.
Jonas, you wanna go?
Yeah, well, I think I was on 6th grade when Joel was talking about forming a band, and we started to play mostly covers in the beginning, if I recall correctly. But yeah, he did have two of his own songs that we all were starting with. So we didn't only have covers, but the problem in the beginning was always with the drummers. I think we had 3 or 4 different drummers, and we didn't really have any space where to practice. And then quite quickly, it was maybe barely a year, and Jussi joined us, I would say. And after that, the band actually started to be more like a proper band, even though we were still practicing at Jussi's parents' house's warehouse. It was how would you describe that space, Jussi?
I don't know. Tiny and sweaty, at least.
It had very narrow. We couldn't even. We had to be like in a row when we were playing. So it wasn't really practical. Yeah.
The problem with living in a place like Pello, which we grew up in, which is a little town in the border of Sweden in the northern Finland, and that if you don't hunt or do sports, your only option might be to start a band and listen to metal. And there were like, I don't know, three guys who liked metal, and that was us, and we all played guitar. So at the first we had some problem with getting a drummer or getting a bass player, but I don't know, maybe we convinced our dearest friends to get into metal and all that kind of stuff, and suddenly there was a drummer in Joni who started from nothing but turned out awesome and crazy drummer in a, I don't know, a very short time. And then there is Tommy, who is also from Pello, my ex neighbor, and he joined in for bass, and that was the lineup. And we had this lineup for 10 years now, or maybe over 10 years.
And it was quite good description that you said convincing your closest friends, because Tommy also took his brother's bass when he joined the band, so it wasn't even his. He started to play with his brother's bass. So yeah, and I remember I called Joni one morning that, do you want to start playing drums for us? And he was like, sure I do, but I can't play them. But we convinced him, and that was a good decision, because he's a really amazing drummer.
How did the songwriting dynamic change going from Trauma Gallery to Brain Drill's poetry?
Well, there is a 10-year history of songwriting before Trauma Gallery came out, so we were pretty poor, and we didn't have time or money to go to studio, so we made several demos and self-released independent releases with mixed quality of production, which was kind of our you can see the path to songwriting, and I don't know, I became the main songwriter at some point, maybe because I sit in my whole room all day and just wrote riffs and riffs and riffs. Maybe all of them were not good, but I didn't mind that. And then we just went to practice space, and I had these all riffs, and we just rehearsed them, and that's the way we went, like 10 years almost. Do you have anything to add, Joonas, before we go to stuff?
We've never been the kind of band who goes to their practice space and starts from scratch there. I think we have tried it, but it absolutely doesn't work. It's horrible to work that way with this kind of music and 5 people in your band. It doesn't work. So Jussi has always had like the songs have been 80% there. And maybe we have done some minor changes to them, taken some parts out, but when we start to practice the songs, they are already like playable. They work, if not perfectly, but they are quite close to being ready.
Yeah, and that's how we went for like 10 years. And after Trauma Gallery, the working in the band was slowing down, because some of us moved to even other countries to work, and to other cities, to other side of Finland to study and to work. And life got in the way for many of us, but still we wanted to do an album and occasionally shows. But it was obvious that I can't just keep doing hundreds songs per year, and then I started to go through my archives and just get the coolest riffs I noticed and cut all the bullshit out. And I kind of cut and pasted the songs for this new album. But I don't know. To me, it still sounds like the songs are flowing naturally. They don't sound like copy and pasted, but that cut and pasted. Sorry, we are not copying anyone, but I don't know. They to me they feel natural, but that's like that's the top of my riff archive iceberg that I had in my computer, and yeah, that's the diamond from that pile, and I don't know. I think it turned out great, even though the process was pretty strange.
And also, we were quite critical towards the songs this time around, and we dropped something completely out of the album also. So maybe in that way changed from Trauma Gallery. Trauma Gallery has they are longer the songs than Brain Drill Poetry, and I think we were more critical towards them, and it was good. I like this album more than the debut album.
Joonas, can you tell me about your 3 favorite solos on Brain Drill Poetry?
Sure, I can. It's really difficult to pick 3. All of the songs, not all of them has solos, but there is something interesting in every song. But these are not in any particular order. But first one, I have Axo in Distance. I like that it has a bit of this Chris Poland style thing going on. It has some basic pentatonic and some basic sweeping, but it has also a tad bit of fusion jazz in it, and I really dig that solo. And the second one, Surgical Sculpture, the outro solo, I like. It's quite melodic, and the whole chorus that the songs ends in, it's not very typical for us. It's very melodic. And third one is Fade into Grey. And it's here because it was a struggle to come up with anything for the song. But I really like that solo. It was horrible to come up with anything. It was so difficult. I don't know, I had some big block going on when I tried to record, but then it just came out of nowhere, and I'm really happy with that one as well. So Axo in Distance, Surgical Sculpture, and Fade into Grey.
Jussi, what were your 3 picks?
Well, all the solos are played by Joonas here because I'm the riff guy and Joonas is the lead guy. So, well, first thing I actually noticed when I was listening to the solos on the album that there's not actually that many solos or solo sections, but there are many cool lead guitar spices here and there, like Joonas said. And my 3 favorites are the more melodic ones in Petrified in Vertigo. I don't know, not the C section, but I don't know, maybe the X section where it gets to the breakdown section and there is this more melodic thing going on. That's cool. And also Surgical Sculpture, the ending solo, it's just something else. It's so even though it has this kind of loop thing, I don't know, it's just so nice, and you can feel it right there. And I go with Action in Distance also. It's one of my favorite songs anyway, and the solo is just it's a cherry on the top.
How has dealing with COVID in Finland changed how you compose music and perform concerts?
When we were in the middle of making the album, it affected us quite some because we had new singer, and we didn't really have any sort of vocal idea. So we had to do these things through WhatsApp or something like that. And then the new singer was recording all by himself, and he was in a new band. So it was, I am surprised that they came out this good, because they are really, really good vocals. I think that was the thing that affected us the most, that we couldn't actually work together for the album. But I don't know, like we were talking earlier, Jussi, what do you think? I don't think it has changed anything with composing anything. I think it's the same.
Yeah, I moved to study like 6 years ago. I have since graduated, but for 6 years we were doing this kind of like distance working thing with the band already, and then I few times a month I just came in for practice, and we mainly practiced new songs, and if we had a show, of course, I came to Rovaniemi to practice then, but yeah, we had we had already this distance thing going on, so it has felt natural. But performing concerts is another thing. I don't know. I've been trying to do a show with my other band for a while now, and it's not. I think it's not happening even yet, because the COVID is always messing things up, and I haven't even been to that many shows in for such a long time. I visited I went to like 3 shows this fall in this few month window, because all the clubs were closed and things are closed, and now they're planning to close everything again. So COVID has surely messed performing concerts and all the stuff, and we haven't even tried that online distance show thing. I don't think that's our thing, but who knows? But working with the band in this COVID era has been nice, and it has worked pretty good, better than you would expect.
What's the name of your other band, by the way?
Oh, yeah, I play in 2 other bands, actually 3. One of them is called Javelin, like javelin, but with the umlaut A. It plays black trash and roll, black and roll kind of stuff. Like, yeah, it's thrash metal band, but it's the opposite direction of Homestyle Surgery. It's so simple and in your face stuff that's not to be taken too seriously, but it's fun. And then I have this grindcore / death metal band called Major Mistake, and actually Joel, who used to sing for Homestyle Surgery for 10 years, he actually plays drums in Major Mistake, so we're still doing music together. And then I just formed a new hardcore kind of speed metal band called Ravenous Medicine, of course, kind of dedicated to Voivod. We're big Voivod fans in the band, so those are the projects I'm working on at the moment.
Joonas, are you in any of their bands?
Not really, no. This has been my only project, and at the moment I've been doing some songs, but I don't know if I will form a project for those quite yet. I want to graduate first, at least.
Do you have different answers for your all-time favorite concert you've played?
I don't know. Usually, what do you have?
I don't know your answer.
Well, I have Yellow Metalli.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead. Tell us more about that.
Well, it was. I don't think they have Yellow Metalli anymore. I don't think it's being held anymore. But anyway, it was a really good metal festival in Oulu that is quite far from Helsinki. So it always had a special place, and it had a special vibe. It was quite far away from the other big festivals, and we were playing there. Was it the second day? And we were the opening act of the second day, so you could imagine that people are hangover, and we were thinking that nobody will show up and it won't be that special of a show, but it actually turned out to be a lot of fun. And there were some people there also. And,
there were people, and some reviews actually called that it was one of the best shows of the whole festival.
Yes, I was just coming to that some reports like this, really.
Yeah, I also would mention Yellow Metalli Festival, but also I got to give it up to hometown metalheads in Rovaniemi. All the shows in Rovaniemi have been great, and the audience is always excited, and it's good time. It's a good time.
Yeah, there was this rock restaurant, rock bar, Grande. That's actually, we won't play any more shows there because they changed their style a little bit. But all the shows in Grande have been really, really nice as well.
Joonas, what are your three most cherished Finnish albums in your collection?
Here I will have to mention Stone, or Stone as we call it in Finland, and their second album, No Anesthesia. It was probably the first proper thrash metal album that I listened to after the debut album, but anyway, it made a huge impact on me, and it has to be the #1 album on this Finnish list. Second one, I would have Jukka Tolonen's debut album. He's a Finnish fusion jazz guitarist. And the third one would be Flaming Sideburns, Hallelujah Rock and Roll. That's early 2000s Scandinavian rock act. Really, really great rock and roll album.
Jussi, what is your list?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Stone too, and to me, Stone has been like the most important band I didn't mention in the influential albums list because this came later. But Stone is kind of a Finnish classic in the thrash metal and speed metal scene from the late 80s, and they were like the biggest band around, and they even tried to conquer America, but I don't know, that didn't quite happen. But Stone's second album, No Anesthesia, production is perfect, riffs are perfect, and I don't know, vocals are not perfect, but everything else is. And I don't know, that's kind of main influence for Homestyle Surgery too. Technical, not boring, always going to places, going all for reaching for new heights. Thrash metal with unique thing going on and nice hooks too here and there. My second album would be Fire in the Brain by Oz, not Ozzy, but Oz, this Finnish heavy metal band. I think they moved to Sweden at some point, but they're a Finnish band, of course, and Fire in the Brain is, I think, their favorite, my favorite album from them. Just good old 80s pure heavy metal in the truest form. And third album, I'm going to pick something from Xisma, which is band from Turku, and they're famous for being one of the first grindcore and heaviest grindcore bands back in the early 90s. Their demo, Swarming of the Maggots, when I heard it the first time, I was shocked. What is this? How can you make this kind of sound? Napalm Death was nothing compared to that. So I don't know. Maybe I go with Swarming with the Maggots now that I got it in my collection finally when they re-released it in a Xisma collection. But Xisma is a band to definitely to check out. They changed their style in every album and kind of evolved from weird death metal grind band to rock and roll band at some point. So those are my picks.
Joonas, what's your favorite Finnish urban legend or ghost story?
I personally don't have any, but we were talking with Jussi about something, but it has to be Jussi who tells it because you remember it a little bit better.
Okay, I can try. This one came to mind. This story was told to me by actually our former singer Joel's stepfather, who is reindeer herder. Reindeer herder, that's a tough word for a Finnish person, but herding reindeer, and he told that this actually happened to him. So one night when he and his reindeer herder buddies were returning from the woods to home, this guy noticed a cabin in the woods and said to others that he's going to stay there because it's a long way home and it's already dark and cold. The other guys told him that, don't you know that it's haunted cabin? And he was like, yeah, you have had too many moonshine shots or something. You go home and sleep your head, sleep it off and stop making up these stories. And maybe he was drunk as well, but then he entered. He was a big guy, so maybe he wasn't scared of ghosts. So he went to the cabin and found a bed or couch or something from there and went to sleep. But suddenly he heard some footsteps or rambling and that kind of extra noise. He thought it was the wind, but then he swore he heard that a voice said something like, "There's only you and me." And this guy was like, "Oh, okay, he must be imagining things." And he tried to sleep. He tried to kind of forget it and try to sleep. But then the rumbling got louder and there was even more noise. Plates were shaking in the kitchen, and he heard the voice again. It whispered to him, "There's only you and me." And now he was getting kind of angry and maybe a little scared. He didn't show it when he told me the story. Tried to sleep again, but then the plates and all that kind of stuff were just yeeting from the counters and smashed to the ground, and stuff were getting broken, and then the voice shouted to him, "There's only you and me, you get it?" And then this guy, he just got up, went to the door and said, "Well, now it's only you," and fucking left and went home. But I don't know if that's true, but that's what he told me.
Well, cool story. Would you like to go back to any questions?
Well, I don't know. I think we got everything. Maybe main thing is that we were 5 guys who were stuck in a small town in Lapland. We had nothing better to do than get crazy about metal and start to practice some instruments, and now we are here.
Oh, and very important. How can people track down your album?
It's on Spotify and other streaming platforms. That's the easiest way. But it's also available on many different stores worldwide on CD.
Yeah, it's at the moment it's only on digital and CD format. If any interested labels are listening, we do a vinyl release too. But yeah, Spotify, Bandcamp, and those sort of streaming platforms, you should find it.
And what's like your social media links, like Facebook, Twitter, and all that jazz?
Instagram and Facebook, we are actually only using Instagram. It's just Homestyle Surgery, and I think Facebook you will find also us with Homestyle Surgery or Homestyle Surgery Finland.
This has been an interview with Homestyle Surgery on Tuesday, December 21st, 2021 by Nick Perkel.